I remember jumping on a conversation with a local CEO of it's a tech company, and we were talking about the work I do and his women, and he literally said, "Well, could you teach my women to use less words? Did you not see the research? Women use 5 times as many words as men. Da, da, da. I can't even remember what the number is." And I sat there, first of all, in that moment, I'm like, I do not want to work with you. Was my first thought. But second of all, we do use more words. Why do, on average, women tend to use more words? Because we're asked to explain and justify. Women and actually minoritized individuals in any system have to prove that what they say is factually true. In most systems, if you are in power, and in this case, if we're talking gender, if you're a male, you can walk in and say, this isn't the right way of approaching this. We should do things this way. And in general, more often than not, people will go, okay, well, tell me about it. Whereas if you say that as a woman, what will happen is, well, where are you coming from? Can you, what data do you have to back that up? What's going on? That gets internalized over a lifetime. So we tend to walk in as explainers off the bat.
When you're in a minority, whatever it is, whether it's based on gender, race, language, you tend to want to prove yourself. And I've seen this in language learning, for example. I grew up bilingual, so I never had to learn the English language as an adult, but that is not something everyone knows about me when they see me, specifically in the West. I went through this weird psychological phase, which I had never experienced before. I grew up speaking in English. I was never conscious of speaking in it. Like I was never self-conscious. But when I went to the US, I was in this psychological zone where I was like, I must make sure I use correct grammar. I must make sure like my pronunciation works. I changed my pronunciation and now I can't change it back. So I remember that it was just something that happened. I just had to be flexible. I had to fit into that system because I was very aware I was coming in as a woman of color from a developing country, had a lot of things not going my way. But I made it work, and it was not a hostile environment at all. It was actually really friendly, but at the same time, people come in with their biases to that environment. So, to your point, it's not that anyone is trying to be openly hostile or openly aggressive. It's just that the system is built that way with those inherent biases.